Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Trogdor, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. We've got another PTL game, which, as I've discussed, this battle is like late and stuff. So yeah, I can't really squeeze this in before I upload my week 12. So you're gonna be seeing this in the. I don't know how like these timelines work out. You know, I don't like understand that type of physics, but yeah. Anyway, we're going up against Jack, our week 12 opponent, and he's got a super scary team and a super good record to go with that. He was just like on a tear early in the season, getting like 8 wins, and then later in the season, people get burnt out, and he kind of got a mix of wins and loses. So yeah, like I said, the complete opposite of that. So it's definitely, we're the absolute underdog in this situation. And while I do have a history of like donking people on top of divisions and stuff, we're not going to like bank on that or anything. We're just going to play the way we normally play. And by that, I mean choke somehow, somewhere. But no, maybe, well, I don't know. Well, let's play this game and find out. So go check out my team builder if you didn't already. I went into depth about the team that I'm bringing, and talked about my opponent's team and what I think he's going to bring. So quick recap, I've got a lead Galvantula that's a suicide bug. I've got Mega Gyarados that's like Dragon Dance and can break through molds and stuff. I've got a Trick Specs Latias, a Aegislash that hopefully isn't super cursed. I've got Defiant Scarf Braviary, and then Nasty Plot Alolan Ninetales, which I think is a pretty solid squad. If I get webs up, some things do well. If not, I force the defog and like get +2 with Braviary and just go on an absolute tear. Ninetales is there to hopefully clean up depending on the composition of my opponent's team. Latias is there to annoy Ferrothorn, do a ton of damage to Suicune since, I can't really rely on Galvantula to sweep. And Gyarados is there to, I guess, look pretty and maybe do some damage, but yeah, it's Gyarados. It's my favorite Pokemon, but I can't really make it work. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, so my opponent has a really good team. I'm predicting like they're like 9 mons. He's got Garchomp, Clef, Ferrothorn, Suicune, Silvally, Mega Manectric, Diggersby, Azelf, and it's like I could really just see anything coming. Like, definitely his bulky boys, like Clef, Suicune, Ferrothorn, probably Mega Manectric just because it outspeeds everything, and then, like, yeah, I don't know, most likely Garchomp, but I have a fair amount of immunities to ground and stuff, so let's see what he actually brought for this game. He's got Garchomp, Clefable, Suicune, Silvally, Buzzwole, and Mega Manectric. I'm very surprised and very relieved to not see Ferrothorn, like, for real. Ferrothorn was a what's the next tier of like a thorn in my side? It was just super annoying for me, and I had to HP Fire Tech, and I decided to not have Salazzle because that mon is hot garbage. So I'm seeing and thinking, oh crap, Ninetales doesn't have like coverage for. Basically, I'm thinking like my HP Fire is completely wasted. I've got HP Ice on Aegislash, but yeah. Originally in my prepping, I figured Silvally would either be like normal type to get a choice of an item, or maybe fairy type if we wanted to combine the roles of it and basically a Clefable that can defog. But then again, Unaware Clefable is like super necessary for what he needs to do, and then. But seeing this, it might also be steel type, but there's no way of knowing until it shows up. So I'm gonna lead with Galvantula, surprise, and see what he decides to go for. And yeah, let's go for it. He leads with Garchomp, and I got Galvantula, so he's either gonna Stealth Rock or Earthquake right here. I live in Earthquake because I do have Focus Sash, so I'm just gonna get up my webs and then hit it with an HP Ice. If it chooses to go for rocks, and I can follow up with a Volt Switch the following turn because it probably will die to an HPS. I'm also unnerved, so if it's Yachi Berry, I will ignore that, and then I wouldn't be able to know if he's Yachi Berry or not. So yeah, unnerved because I got 100% accurate moves to get the webs. I live in Earthquake, so it's probably like a bulky chomp, which is great because that means the likes of Gyarados will probably outspeed it, Ninetales will definitely outspeed it, and, you know, Braviary Scarf. So I get up my webs. I know I'm going to outspeed next turn, so I can go for the HP Ice. It does a ton of damage. Well, not a ton. It's not an Oko or anything. And in typical fashion, Galvantula goes down. Next is Gyarados, because I've got the Intimidate, so that's going to force the Garchomp out. I'm just going to like go for Waterfall to see what his immediate answer to Gyarados is, and it's Buzzwole. And I'm thinking, great, I can bounce and like do that bouncing strategy. So I go for the bounce as he forces himself out with Buzzwole. He switches before I did that, so one turn too early, because you see now that Silvalley's in, and it's almost certainly going to go for a Defog. I'm up in the air, so I cannot switch into my Braviary, which is unfortunate. I also realize at this point that this is Steel-type Silvally, so that's cool. It makes sense why I didn't really bring Ferrothorn. It's basically a faster Ferrothorn that can defog and stuff. So I'm going to bounce on this as he, goes for the defog right here, which is annoying because I couldn't get Braviary to come in. But I'm going to switch into Braviary now because it's the only thing I can hit this really hard, and he goes for the Parting Shot. So I get an attack boost and another attack boost. And you see right here, Braviary is at +2, no, that's 1, 2, +3 attack. I am Choice Scarf. Something is going to go down right now. He brings in Mega Manectric, and that's a bad move because he's going to get the Intimidate. So I go down to +4, and no, I go down to +2 and up to +4. And I go for the Frustration, and that's not a Mega Manectric anymore. Like, I had no idea that the Parting Shot mechanics worked this way with Braviary. And finding out that it did, I got super hyped up. You can tell in my narration, too, that Braviary is just going to go on an immediate tear right here. That's almost certainly going to be a Unaware Clefable, so that's probably his best switch right now, or the Steel-type Silvally. So I figure I can switch out at that point and, you know, can come later with Braviary, but yeah. But he goes into Buzzwole instead, and I'm just going to, like, donk it, but that was probably some kind of Fizz Def, and I did a fair amount of damage to it. And yeah, it goes for the Brick Break, didn't do much to me, so yeah, that probably is defensive Buzzwole. But yeah, I'm just going to go for another Frustration and take out the Buzzwole. So those are like two huge threats to my team just gone because Defiant is such a good ability. So yeah, surprised he didn't go into Clef or Silvally there, but yeah, Silvally comes in here as I go into Aegislash because I'm pretty sure it can't really touch me. Goes for the Parting Shot again, which I could have switched into Braviary there, but I didn't want to risk because he got the Thunderbolt. Suicune is, I calc that it's not like fully Fizz Def or fully Spit Def, it's like kind of mixed offensive, which is a blessing and a curse. It means Gyarados can do more damage later down the line, but it means I'll almost definitely have to keep Specs on Latias to do damage to it, or get to like +4 with Ninetales later if I end up doing that. So Aegislash really can't touch this Suicune at all, so I'm going to go into Latias, see what he wants to do. Toxics me, that's annoying because now it's, you know, the waiting game with Latias, which I don't have Refresh or anything like that. I'm offensive. So I go for the Thunderbolt, and yeah, I don't really want to stay in here at all and do anything. But he doubles into Clefable, probably predicting my Braviary, but I just go for the U-turn here to go back into Aegislash. Thunder Waves me, but it's like, I like Aegislash to be slow, so he obviously knows I'm going to go for the Flash Cannon there, so he can his dedicated switch as I go for the Flash Cannon right here. And yeah, Suicune is just like proving very difficult to take down. I can't get my King Shield there, but it's okay because he switches. And yeah, his Suicune is getting chipped. It does have leftovers, and even though I get the Spidef drop, there's still no way that my Aegislash can 1v1 this, especially that I'm like paralyzed. So I'm going to have to like come up with a very clever way to deal with this Suicune, which that's not presenting itself right now. Skull does a big chunk to me, and I'm paralyzed and low, and I don't have leftovers, and probably just going to save Aegislash for Death Fodder. So I've noticed that his switch into my Latias is Clefable, and I'm going to see if I can snag leftovers from that, because I just want to get some health back, and Toxic is annoying, and Clefable's already revealed itself to have a fair amount of support moves, so giving it Specs will just be annoying for it. So I go ahead and do that. Trickaroo, I get some leftovers, which I really wanted some recovery on my Latias if I'm going to be, doing any sort of living with it. I see what Clefable wants to go for right here, so it's locked into Stealth Rocks. I'm thinking to myself, this might be a good chance to go into Ninetales because he's obviously going to switch out right here. I can, if he goes into either Garchomp or Suicune, I can probably get up my Nasty Plot. Garchomp is going to be forced out because of obvious ice moves, so I had, Nasty Plot on the switch there. Suicune, I kind of designed Ninetales to be able to set up on it. So it's only if he switches into the Cell Valley, then I got to get out of town, go into Braviary because he'd probably Parting Shot, etc. But then Braviary is not doing a ton of damage to Clefable because I'd have to go for Superpower to take out the Cell Valley. But he goes into Suicune as I go into my Ninetales, as I mentioned, and I'm just going to go for the Nasty Plot right here. So, yeah, Suicune is buffered by the Hail. He switches into Silvally, but I Nasty Plot, and I still got my HP Fire, which I'm glad I have that, because I thought it was like, oh great, no Ferrothorn, that's wasted, but oh, Steel-type Silvally, maybe I can do something with it. So I didn't calc this, but I'm just like, if I've got any chance of win, I've just got to go for it right here, and that Silvally is gone. So Garchomp is very low, and yeah, 30%, even if it is Yachi Berry, which I still don't know because of unnerved Galvantula. I know that my Freeze Dry takes out Suicune when I'm at +2, and it's just a matter of, is that Clefable, like, unaware? It probably is, but if the off chance it's not, we'll see once it switches into the Hail. And then I've actually got a good chance to clean up with Ninetales right now, and I'm just looking at that like, wow, I had no idea that could possibly happen, but yeah, it's happening. He goes into Clefable, and I go for the Freeze Dry, and it goes for the Moonblast, so I'm thinking that's not unaware, because it doesn't take hail damage. So Garchomp comes in, it is Yachi Berry, but Freeze Dry still donks it. So it's like, Clefable wasn't unaware. Suicune is low. I win with Ninetales right here. +2 Ninetales is just gonna clean up at this point, which is fantastic. Yeah, Suicune's gone, and Clefable's like immune to my +2, so I take it out. I'm looking here, I just won 5-0. I don't usually win big, especially against people who are so high up in the league and have such threatening teams. But yeah, that was a pretty huge win for me right there. Good game, Jack. I know you kind of had to rush your prep, and I put a lot more time into this team, and that's probably the main reason why I won, but it was still a good game regardless. And yeah, I was honestly really surprised for Clefable to be Magic Guard, because I just love setup. I've got Braviary, I've got Gyarados, I've also had Terrakion on my team. I could potentially be Swords Dance, Aegislash. So yeah, really surprised to see Magic Guard Clefable, but yeah, luckily that helped Ninetales win. So yeah, good game, everyone. I'm actually in the running to not be the worst team in the entire world, which is kind of huge for me. So glad to get over my losing streak, which, yeah, losing 9 games in a row and then winning one, it's kind of nice. So yeah, that's all for me. If you like the video, go ahead and like it. If you have anything to say, do so in the comments down below. And if you want to check out more content coming soon at any point, probably in the near future, I'm going to be doing like 6 videos this week, which is insane because I work and go to school and I'm an adult. So yeah, stay tuned for all that jazz. So yeah, that's all that I've got for today, and I'll see everyone in the next video. Take care now. Bye-bye.